Welcome to this brief guide on how to copy all your tabs in Google Chrome. Ever found yourself drowning in a sea of open tabs in Chrome, desperately needing to save them all for later, but dreading the tedious task of copying and pasting each URL individually? It's a common pain point, but thankfully, Chrome offers some handy solutions. In this tutorial, I'll show you two foolproof ways to effortlessly copy all your open tabs. One using a nifty extension, and the other with a built-in Chrome feature. Alright, let's dive into our first method and take the pain out of copying a lot of links. It's not uncommon to find yourself compiling a large amount of research, working on a collaborative project, or preparing some sort of report. And the information you need often isn't all in one place, and it's spread out across multiple sources all over the web. And the tedious task of selecting each tab, right-clicking, copying, and then pasting into your document is not only time-consuming, but incredibly inefficient. Thankfully, we can utilize a browser extension to make this process quick and easy. The extension we're going to use today is a free tool called Tab Copy, and you can find this in the Chrome Web Store. Now, because extensions are powerful programs and could potentially have unintended impacts on your browsing experience, always make sure that you are only getting them from well-known and safe sources, such as the official Chrome Web Store. I'll put a direct link to this extension in the description of this video to make it as easy as possible for you to access. To add this extension to Chrome, simply navigate to its page in the Chrome Web Store and click on the big blue Add to Chrome button. This will trigger a pop-up asking you if you are sure you want to allow this extension to be installed in Chrome, as extensions can be quite powerful and need some additional system permissions. Select the Add Extension button to continue the installation process. Once installed, the extension will be added to your browser and you will want to make it visible at all times for easy access. To make this extension visible, we need to select the extensions icon in the top right corner, and you'll see the Tab Copy extension listed there. Then select the pin icon to pin the Tab Copy extension next to the extensions menu. Now that we've got the Tab Copy extension installed and ready to go, let's take a look at how to use it and all of the options it offers. To start using Tab Copy, we are simply going to click on the Tab Copy extension button in the top right-hand corner that we just pinned. And you'll see that a drop-down menu with a few different options appears. The first option is the ability to copy the URL just for the currently active tab, so whichever tab you have on the screen. The second option is to copy this Windows tabs, which is going to grab the URLs from all the tabs inside your current browser window, regardless of which one is active. The third option allows you to copy all tabs, which is going to grab the URLs from all of the open tabs across all of your current browser windows. And then the final option is the ability to copy all tabs by window. If you like to organize your research across different browser windows, this option will group all the tabs by their respective windows. For this tutorial, we're just going to select this Windows tabs. But before we hit that copy button, let's take a look at one more important option. If you look down the bottom of the menu, there is an option which says Copy As, and the default option will be set to Link. Now, this dropdown controls how the URLs are going to be formatted before they get copied to your clipboard. This offers you a bunch of different options for the information that you wish to be copied, including just the URLs, just the titles, or both, as well as a number of different code formats for those who may need to use the links within a programming context. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to choose Markdown, which is a great all-purpose option that will work in many different apps and use cases. Once you have selected the output format you want, you can then select one of the copy buttons. For the purpose of this demonstration, I want to copy all the tabs in this current window, so I'm going to select that option. This will copy all of the tab URLs into our system clipboard, and this will be ready to be pasted into our document. Now, in a blank area, I'm going to right-click, and then instead of selecting just paste, here I'm going to select Paste from Markdown to retain that Markdown formatting that we chose from our extension. If this option is not present for you, then you may need to enable it in your Google Docs settings. And I have another video on my channel that explains exactly how to do this. Now, with one single click, all of those URLs that were open in my browser window have now been pasted into my Google Doc as a hyperlink. And you'll notice that they all have the page title already included. Now this makes things super easy for future referencing, and it looks nice too. Now what if you find yourself in a situation where you are not able to install any third-party browser extensions? Perhaps your device is managed by your employer, or you are on a limited system, or perhaps you simply prefer not to use any additional extensions. Thankfully, we can also utilize Google Chrome's inbuilt functionality to achieve a similar result. This method makes use of the Chrome bookmark system to gather all the URLs we need. Now, this method does involve a couple more steps than before and requires some manual intervention at the end, but let's take a look. First, we need to set up the bookmarking process. To do this, you'll need to move your mouse to the blank area next to your open tabs. This is really important, and it needs to be in the blank space beside the actual tabs. If you accidentally right-click on an existing tab, this won't work, and you'll instead get the options that relate to a single tab. So make sure it is the blank space outside of your existing tabs. Once there, right-click and you'll see a drop-down menu. From this menu, you need to select Bookmark All Tabs. You can also use a keyboard shortcut if you'd prefer. On Windows, it's Ctrl-Shift-D, and on macOS, it's Command-Shift-D. Regardless of which method you used, Google Chrome is now going to ask you where you want to save these links, by asking you to name the bookmark folder. I'm going to call this folder Prompt Engineering, as I've been gathering information on that topic. This will create us a new folder which will simply contain all of our currently open tabs. Once you are done, select Save. Now that all the tabs have been added to the bookmarks section, we need to copy these into our document. So we need to access the Bookmarks Manager in Google Chrome. We can do this by going to the ellipsis menu, which is in the top right corner of your browser. It's these three little vertical dots. Select this menu and a drop-down will appear, and you'll want to find the option called Bookmarks and Lists, and then hover over that to have a flyout menu appear. And within that flyout menu, you'll want to select Bookmark Manager. There is also a keyboard shortcut if you would prefer for those on Windows, which is Ctrl-Shift-O. Once we are on this page, we will now be able to see all the folders in the bookmarks section in Google Chrome. And so now we need to navigate to find the folder that we just created, which in my case is Prompt Engineering. Now that we have the folder visible, we need to select all the links contained within that folder so that we can copy them. We can do this by once again using a simple keyboard shortcut, Ctrl-A on Windows or Command-A on macOS. Once selected, we now need to copy all of these links so that we can paste them into our document. So simply right-click on any of the links and you'll see an option to copy them, which we will select. Now all the links have been copied to the clipboard and are ready to be used. Now that we've got them all there, let's head back over to our document. Now in a blank area, right-click and select the paste option. Once you have pasted, you will see all of your URLs in their plain text format. They will not be hyperlinked or formatted in any other way. They also don't have the page titles, which is a great way to help us keep track of which link is which. To turn these links into functional hyperlinks and to use Google's automatic URL linking feature, you want to click into the document and at the end of any given URL, simply hit the space key. You can also press the Enter key at the end of a URL and Google Docs will perform the same function. And lastly, if you want to make these links look nicer, you can hover the text for any of the URLs and Google Docs will offer you an option to replace URL with its title. This feature will automatically replace the URL with the title of that page. Now, while this method is a little bit more manual and requires a bit of manual intervention at the end, it's a great way to collect all of those URLs without requiring any third-party extensions installed in your browser. So it does give you an alternative option for those situations where you simply can't use that extension. And that's it. You've seen two different ways to effortlessly copy URLs from multiple open tabs in Google Chrome, making it so much easier to manage your online research and to collaborate with others. Please note that these same approaches Using either the extension or the bookmarks should also work in other Chromium-based browsers such as Microsoft Edge or Brave. However, you may need to navigate to their bookmarks section in a slightly different manner from Chrome. Remember to check the video description below for the link to the Tab Copy extension, and you're all set to copy any tabs you like with minimal fuss. Happy copying, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to check out the channel, and if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.